What's up, everybody, and welcome into the Backliners podcast, Aggro and BaRRaCCuDDa. As per usual, I can tell this is going to be a good episode, chat. I can just tell. And let me tell you how I know. We're going over patch notes, and BaRRa 2 seconds ago tells me I have not looked at patch notes yet. So we know we're going to get the full, transparent, unfiltered view.
I'm supposed to react to it. That's my job here. You're the host. I'm the reactor guy.
You're going to react to it.
I'm supposed to be like, wow, Hunters got nerfed again? Oh, tanks are so OP.
Right, exactly like that. And then also, before we go live, I do a little countdown so he knows when his mic is going to be live. And it starts from 5, so it's not particularly long. That's 5 seconds. And I didn't get to 3 before BaRRa goes, I don't have water.
Yeah, I forgot my water.
Do you need to go do you want me to fill for you while you go get some water?
I mean, if you'd be so kind.
Sure, BaRRa. Why don't I just tell the podcast, and he's gone. Why don't I just tell the podcast all about my break? I don't know. It hasn't really been. We just had a weekend off broadcast, which is a unique thing in the Smite Pro League world. So hopefully everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I had a very good one. My great friend Pretty Hair, whose house we went to for Thanksgiving, he cooked the turkey in a sous vide. Sous vide. I don't know if I pronounced that the exact way I'm supposed to, but those things are OP, man. Let me put it this way, okay? He's made us a lot of steaks with that. It's been banging. This turkey may have been the best turkey I've ever had. Hopefully my aunt and uncle aren't listening to this because they traditionally do the best turkey. But this one was really next level. And the sous vide overperformed so much that it made it on the Christmas list right away. That's I'm hoping that I get one for Christmas because otherwise I'm gonna be sad. BaRRa's back.
Oh.
Could you hear my rambling the whole time?
Oh yeah, I can hear everything.
Have you ever used a sous vide or eaten anything with a sous vide made by a sous vide?
No, but it looked really interesting and I wanted to get into it, and then every time I almost got into it, I just wouldn't for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because everyone said it was like, this is the best like X, Y, or Z I've ever had. And then I'd just be like, that's a great idea. Go on Amazon, look it up, and then close the tab. I don't know why. I did that for like 3 or 4 years.
Apparently you can make veggie stuff in it, Barry. Now I know that you're on the vegetarian train, but I think it's primarily for like meat. So I don't know if you're gonna get the most out of it these days.
It cooks at like a really specific temperature in water over long periods, right?
Yeah, it's long periods in water, and it's the way it moves the water in a certain way as well. Is my understanding that it does different things that way. BaRRa has frozen, and now I'm very scared that he's gone. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh?
Oh, is he back?
Hello?
Yeah, he's back. All right, yes.
My computer has taken a break for a week, so it's getting back to work right now. It doesn't really understand what it's supposed to be doing. Neither do I, actually.
Right. Wait, you're telling me that you didn't turn your computer on for a whole week?
No, I lied. I did play Halo.
Okay.
Halo was okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you after the podcast, but I think this is fine podcast content. Everyone knows you're a big Halo guy. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah. Okay, so the trailer came out, and I was like, this game looks dog water. It's not gonna be good because it was like a big team battle trailer, and it was just like completely directed at noobs, and it looked like a Battlefield like spinoff, basically, just like large fights, like vehicles everywhere. And then the game releases, and I start watching some streams, and I'm like, this looks pretty good. It's kind of like scratching the itch, you know? And then the itch just kept growing and growing, and I was like, okay, now I have to play it. And then I play it, and it is like... Okay, I think it might be like one of the best Halo games.
It's so good, right?
And I've only played like 6 or 7 hours of it.
Yeah.
And I love it, dude.
It's
I actually love it, bro.
It's so good. It is so good. I'm having so much fun with Infinite. If you haven't downloaded the multiplayer, you definitely should. after you play a bunch of Smite and buy gems. Buy gems, buy gems, and buy gems. But also you should probably play Halo because it's free to play and it's really good. It is super fun. Are you using mouse and keyboard or controller?
Currently mouse and keyboard. I want to go back to controller and just experiment, but every time I've gone back to controller, it has not been pretty. I've lost like all muscle memory in controller. So like I went back like 4 or 5 years ago, and I always played inverted growing up. I don't know why. I just did. And I know. There's people out there right now that hate inverted. People are like, why would... I don't know why. I was
no,
like...
Barra, don't say it that way. That makes it sound like that's not the common way to think, okay? You should say there are people out there who play inverted in shooters. That's the more the more rare species of people, and you're one of them apparently, which disgusts me.
And also, we should discuss like anyone above like noob level. I used to play with vibration on.
Oh yeah, you can't be doing that, buddy.
Yeah, no, but I liked it. I don't know why either, but I liked my controller vibrating. I don't know why.
Cannot be doing that. No. Right here, this Smite Scuf that I'm showing on stream right now. This is the Halo tool right here. This is the good stuff. I got a Scuf controller many years. I mean, when I was playing COD back in high school, and I refused to use any controller otherwise for any like multiplayer game. They're just the best.
It's kind of crazy that Scuf stood the test of time as well, because they're like one of the first companies that came out and really started like sponsoring like everyone in the shooting communities.
Yes.
And then they just kept going and are still amazing. Like,
they're just the best.
I feel like more companies should take notes.
More companies should take notes. That's a good... Yeah. Blizzard. You know who doesn't need to take notes, Barra? That's Manscaped, because they are committed to being one of the best. There's no doubt about that. Listen up, okay? Untrimmed pubes are a thing of the past. And it's possible you have Santa's beard in your pants. I didn't read that ahead of time. It's time to leave your significant other some cookies and milk at the bottom of your chimney? Huh? I'm talking about Manscaped Performance Package 4.0.
Did they write this?
They wrote all that. I didn't write any of that, okay? I didn't write any of it for what it's worth. Barra, here's a true story about me and Manscaped. The other day, I was thinking, I think it's time to fire up the old lawnmower 4.0. And I'm not talking about mowing my lawn in my house.
Santa's beard?
Well, I'm trying to avoid Santa's beard, I suppose, in this analogy. So I go and I realize that it's not. I go to use it and it wasn't charged. It was dead. And then I went into an absolute panic, thinking I'd thrown away the charger. And I was very concerned about it. But I think that it really says how long the battery life has lasted, that I have not charged it at all until this week. I didn't throw away the charger. I found it. It has a nice little charging stand. Set that up, put it right next to the sink. It's looking nice right there, and now it's all charged. And then I could lose that charger for another couple months because the battery life is solid.
This is kind of related to what you just said. So back before we were sponsored by Manscaped, I had like the first lawnmower. And I actually did lose my charger. And you know what they did?
What'd they do?
Sent it to me for free.
No way.
No questions asked. No questions asked. And they just sent me a free charger. I'm like, wait, what? Like, you don't want me to like pay shipping?
Don't need to.
And they're like, no, it's fine. Here's the charger. I'm like, wait.
That's just
for real?
That's the type of good man that the Manscaped is. That's
before we were sponsored. This was like 4 years ago.
Many years ago, and they've only gotten better since then, Barra. That's all.
You have a flashlight now.
Yeah, there you go. Listen, everyone, all you need to do to get 20% off and free shipping is use code BACK at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code BACK. Clean up your nuts and make Santa proud this year. That's manscaped.com/back. BaRRa, I don't think that the chat knew that they could be on the naughty list by not shaving their pubes. But now that they know, surely they're going to head over to manscaped.com and use code BACK for 20% off plus free shipping.
Surely.
Surely. No doubt about it.
Surely.
All right, let's go over some balance changes and some patch notes, shall we? Let's start with the bonus balance that's going live in 2 days. It's going live on Tuesday, and that's a separate link there, Barry, if you don't have it. And if anyone wants to follow along, I guess I can put it in the chat. I'm really doing this for BaRRa because I can't DM it to him without messing up how the stream looks.
Oh, I already got it. I'm on top of it, baby.
He's good to go. First and foremost, the anti-heal brawling buff, which is the global debuff that happens. You get a buff that removes this whenever you're in combat. It's increased the healing reduction from 30% to 40%. It harms out-of-combat healers, nerfs them across the board by 10%. Also nerfs lifesteal and things along that line.
Sadly.
How impactful do you think this brawling change is going to be?
So I did actually look over these patch notes because these are the ones I think we're playing on. So yes. I did look at these. I think this combined with everything else is a really good change. Mm-hmm. But it's like each one of these is like a building block, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like, finally, so healing metas suck. I don't think anyone enjoys healing metas.
True.
And having to scrim in a healing meta for that long it's just not enjoyable. No one has fun. And I think Hi-Rez did a good job responding to it this quickly. So yeah, you can continue.
Another part of it, Lotus Crown nerf, decreased the passive physical and magical protections provided to allies from 20 to 15, so you lose 5 to each. But, for a character like Sylvanas, I feel like that's a pretty big nerf to him to lose 10 procs across the board there. And then Divine Ruin buff, increased magical power from 90 to 110. Bro, catch me building Divine Ruin every game. I'm pumped.
Yeah, that seems like a big buff. I'm not a mage player, but that seems like a lot of free power. I guess mage players really did not want to build that item.
No,
I
it
guess
felt
you can
horrible
speak
every
on
time.
that. Okay.
I hated it.
And I think it was just awkward to fit in the current build path.
Yep.
Whereas before, I think it was like the double flat pin meta. You could slam super easily, but now it's just felt weird. So I think the buff will allow mage players to fit in their build a little easier, or it won't feel like as devastating. I think.
Yeah, I think that we won't be feeling quite as bad with it at 110 for sure. Warrior's Axe nerf decreased the passive HP steal from 35 to 25, but increased the HP steal per level from 1 per level to 1.5 per level, so it scales up a little bit better. And then Sundering Axe nerf increased cooldown on the passive proc from 7 seconds to 8 seconds and decreased it from 3% plus 2% per protections to 2% plus 2% per protection. So a little bit of an axe nerf both on the base form and on the upgrade.
I am all for that. That item is so annoying to play against. And then, dude, late game, you literally just get whipped by a Nike, and she doesn't even care about the second and third hit. She'll just do the first one, then walk away.
Yep, just insta-cancel it, turn around, and you're standing there like, okay.
Thwopped in the head for 400, then they walk away, and you're like, sorry, sir.
My apologies.
Sorry.
Wind Demon decreased attack speed from 20% to 15%, and the passive bonus attack speed from 15% to 10%, so it loses 10% basically across the board. Wind Demon was kind of seeing play even in non-crit builds. You were kind of seeing this as a standalone item. Do you think these changes remove Wind Demon from non-crit builds?
Most likely. I think that nerf does a lot to Deathtoll builds, but to Cal builds, I don't think it does much.
Interesting. Bastet receives a nerf on her new passive, so decrease some lifesteal and ability lifesteal. And then on the ultimate, increase the cooldown from 80 seconds to 90 and decreased the scaling from 100% to 90%. You have not played against a whole lot of Bastet yet, I'm guessing, right?
I was about to say, I haven't played a casual, so I haven't seen her yet.
Fair enough.
But I assume based off of the nerf that she was doing pretty good.
This tells me that her numbers were pretty good.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. Kleedna nerf decreased the scaling on the opening hit of the ultimate from 80% to 70%. I feel like this god is still pretty crazy I don't know how you feel about her.
Well, I haven't played any ranked, so I haven't seen her.
Fair enough. Have fun.
Yeah, so I had a migraine for like 2 weeks, and I was not playing ranked in that time.
That's
in
probably
the same.
a good call.
Yeah, and I've heard that she is very strong, so I assume that only losing 10% on an ability that has 2 charges probably isn't that bad.
Yeah, but I guess it is more impactful to lose 10% on an ability with 2 charges than an ability with 1 charge, right? So,
well, what I was hearing was it shouldn't even have 2 charges to begin with.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage. That is for sure. You will feel it even at 70%. I don't think that's gonna change. Speaking of gods that hurt you a lot, Camazotz decreased the scaling on the initial hit of his 2. It was 100% as soon as you got hit by it. Now it's 80%, so a pretty big nerf there. And then Bat Out of Hell, the ultimate, decreased the scaling per hit from 40% to 35%. Because there's 3 swoops, that means the total scaling, if you hit all of them, was 120%, now 105%, so a 15% nerf there. Camazotz also did not do very well at playoffs. Do you think that these take him, along with his recent subpar performances, do you think that those changes take him out of the top of the jungle?
Yeah, I'm not... I would assume it takes him out of the top of the jungle because I feel like those are some pretty big hits to him. And if a character with all damage abilities, his damage gets hurt pretty hard, then I feel like the nerf's going to feel pretty bad.
Sure.
But I think, as you said, he wasn't doing too great in actual comp settings anyways, so I think after that, he's going to fall off anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you on both points.
Erlong Shen, another jungler who did pretty well at playoffs. 72 transformations, decreased the turtle damage. Looks like it's 10 base damage across the board. And increase the cooldown. It was 18 to 14, now 18, scaling down to 16. So less 72 transformations you have to deal with. Erlong's just one of those characters, man. Feel like this character has gotten nothing but nerfs for a long time. And he gets nerfed, and then he stops seeing play. And then he starts seeing play again, and then he has to get nerfed again. And then he starts to see play again, and then he gets nerfed again. Like, I think just having 3 CCs that don't DR one another, as long as you lead with the taunt, none of your CC gets DR'd at all, that seems good to me.
Yeah, that's kind of weird how that works.
Like, unequivocally good.
Especially when you can get in, like 1k damage in your combo late game, maybe more.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Remember when this character was released and he had a cripple on his pin and people thought he was bad?
Uh-huh. The same with Arthur, right? Like, people thought Arthur was bad.
People thought Arthur was bad.
I think he got, like, the Erlong treatment, or like the Kepri treatment, where he just kept getting nerfs and nerfs and nerfs. And
people had to be
Arthur
the most wrong about
back.
Erlong, though. Like, I feel like Arthur was really crazy, but it was really him and Gladshield. Like, Erlong's kit inherently, as we've just talked about, I think is inherently busted.
Agreed.
Well, Arthur's kit isn't inherently busted. It was, numbers, that kind of stuff. Item interactions, that kind of stuff. How did pro players think this god was bad? I don't remember if I thought he was bad or not. That was kind of the beginning of my casting career. It was season 3.
All
I
remember
was too scared
is
to have an opinion.
Us dying in mid to the Erlong Raw combo.
Yeah.
And I think we were playing like Agni at the time or something, and we would just die and be like, we can't play around this. That's all I remember from that era.
Yep. Jetski January in chat says, Erlang is one of the top 5 most busted god releases. Big disagree. I think this god was absolutely crazy on release, but there have been so many absolutely insane god releases that I don't think Erlong is top 5. He might not be top 10, honestly.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't remember most of the god releases, except for like Guan. I just remember Guan being a meme.
Yeah, Guan, obviously, I mean, I don't like going into this, like, I think it would be kind of fun to go over god releases for a show and just like talk about all of them and how crazy some of them were. But I also, I don't want to put the design team in a bad light, because even though a lot of them weren't designing back then, especially, season 2, I've been pretty vocal on season 2, I think had the craziest god releases of any season by a lot, but And I don't know that there's a whole lot of carryover at all from season 2 God Design to now, but those are still people who were doing their best and that kind of stuff, and so I don't like to put them in a bad light.
I mean, Smite was still a relatively new game. People did not know how to abuse Smite like they do now. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy, man. I mean, Erlong was really good, but like, I'm thinking season 2 alone. I'm thinking Kepri was better.
What?
Like, Bologna was probably better. Xingqian was probably better. Sol was probably better. Medusa might have been better. Chiron might have been better. Those were all season 2 only, by the way.
Okay, I think for to do a different spin on that, I think it'd be fun to look at a God's numbers on release and then look at them now. And just like go purely off the numbers. And because I think Fenrir's 3 could like do on item.
Crit. Yeah. It did item procs.
Yeah, that
was that good, by the way? Was that good that when Fenrir 3 could crit? We should just put that back.
It couldn't have lasted long, right?
No. I think that was literally like one patch. I think that they removed that instantly. I think they removed that one instantly. Okay, going back to the patch notes. Nike nerf. Decrease the duration on barrier formation. That's her 2 from 6 seconds to 4 seconds. And decrease the slow on her ultimate. It was 4 scaling up to 6. Now it is 4 seconds at all ranks. So a pretty substantial nerf to Nike. Are you excited about this one, BaRRa? That now you only can't auto attack her for 4 seconds.
Yeah, it's kind of just funny that they were both 6 seconds.
That's a long time.
That's a long time in a team fight, my guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. We'll see if the rest of the nerfs affect her, or like the Sundering Axe nerf affects her. But a god that can shut down ADC is probably still going to be a little good. So we'll see. But I think people were responding with Sunder a little quicker now. Because Sunder was seen as like a dead relic before, but now it's seeing play into Nikes. So maybe it falls off. Maybe like the full survivability team comps from playoffs are falling off now. We'll see.
Yeah. Speaking of gods that can shut down ADCs, RDO gets a nerf. Increase the cooldown on her 2 in both stances from 14 seconds to 15 seconds. And decrease the Druid power debuff on the 2, which is Entangling Vines. It was 5 scaling up to 25% power reduction. Now it only goes to 15%, which is still a lot, but less.
I think I have to play against it to feel it. But obviously on paper it looks pretty good. Looks like she won't be as scary, but yeah, I think I have to play against it.
Morrigan, the final nerf, decreased stealth duration. It was 4 to 6 seconds on the stealth, now 3 to 5. As someone who's played a good amount of Morrigan, I feel like this is a huge deal. Losing 1 second, especially early, because you can't rank this early ever. You kind of need to rank it. There's some discussion whether or not you could rank this before your ultimate. But, best case scenario, you're still not putting points in it until the mid game. So losing a second on your stealth all throughout the early game matters a lot.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like the 4 to 3 feels bigger than the 6 to 5. I mean, maybe there's those situations late game where you're really like needing that extra second.
Yeah. I feel like you do.
I feel like
a lot of the time.
Yeah. Well, actually that probably changes up a lot of timings now of like when you can go in stealth and how like
where
how soon you can get to their back line.
Wards and that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think it's gonna require a lot of adjustment from Morrigan abusers in the SPL.
Yeah, that character is not fun to play against.
That character is really fun to play, though. You ever thought about that?
Yeah, I have actually.
Okay, great.
And I missed when I got to play her. She was a lot of fun, actually.
How much Morrigan did you play back when that was a thing, Morrigan ADC? I feel like I don't remember you playing a lot, at least in SPL.
I played her a lot in scrims, and I played her a fair bit in SPL. I had like a few like really good plays in SPL on Mori. Because
nice.
I just remember like I think it was against Dig where I had like a really sick play where I like stunned 2 people. Anyways, it was sick.
Fair enough.
I don't want to go into it.
Alrighty. Alright, let's go to the main patch. We'll go over items and god changes first, and then we'll get into our thoughts on Atlas. Enchanted Spear, that's the flat pen tree for mages. The tier 2 goes up from 40 to 60 power. I'm just going to do all these at the same time, I guess, because they're all kind of related. Spear of Desolation goes from 110 to 120 for magical power. Spell Focus, tier 2 of Obsidian Shard, goes from 45 to 55, and Obsidian Shard goes from 80 power to 90 power. As a mid laner, I think all of these feel pretty good. I think that all 4 of these, well, I guess 2 of them are completed items, felt pretty underwhelming most of the time. And I think that combined with the Divine Ruin change, I think I might be more willing to hop on to that flat pen build early again. I've been pretty outspoken on my thoughts on current mage builds in the SPL, and I think that they've really missed the mark for me. And I think, but it's the lens through which I view the game at a high level. In my opinion, the best way to play Smite is to kill who's in front of you, especially early. And it is, and the current builds did not do a good job of putting pressure on tanks. And I personally view that as a core mechanic of how I think the game should be played, is that you should be able to kill the tanks that you're going to see. And so, that is not the view that many SPL mid laners held. They held that they needed to survive junglers. So maybe, buffing flat pen and that kind of stuff and Divine Ruin and Spear of Desolation, maybe mid laners will feel like they can DPS race the junglers and kill the front line a little bit better these days. But that's kind of my, maybe they'll get back to the brand of Smite that I personally believe is the best, but maybe it'll continue to be the meta that we've seen over these last few weeks.
Yeah, I think I'll just say a shorter thing. I feel like it's just basically if you can kill the jungler that's going on you at the current time. If you can't do that with the flat pin build, then people aren't going to build it.
Right.
And I don't know if the flat pin build can really kill tanks currently, or at least the guardians that are being played.
Yep.
Because they're not really like in your face; they're more like ranging away from you.
Yep.
So you have to have like a long CC chain to kill the current guardians, in my opinion. Which might be why Erlang was so good at playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny to me that Obsidian was being built like after the starter in like the literal last item slot.
6th item. Yep.
Yeah, I feel like mage items just have to feel like absolute dog water if you're not building percent bin till literally your very last item.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I think the Book of the Dead build felt really good, is that I think that it made me feel better on my 3-item power spike and my 4-item power spike. But Paul wasn't building it at all. They won playoffs. Shinto wasn't building it. These guys weren't really building that build a whole lot. So, maybe I'm off the mark there, but I'm just a massive hater on Chronos Pendant, Soul Gem, first 2 items. I hate that. I want to spend 30 minutes talking about how much I hate those first 2 items. Those items, individually, good. Those items, back to back as your first 2 items, I believe, really bad. But every SPL mid seems to feel otherwise. So, at some point, I've gotta readjust my focus. But I just keep watching them hit the tank for 150, and I keep thinking, damn, I wish I had a Spear of the Magus here or something like that. That's the way I feel personally.
I don't understand that build. I'll be completely honest with you.
I've talked to every mid about it. Every single one. And they've all defended it in slightly different but similar ways. And I still don't buy it, man. I just don't. I just don't buy it.
Maybe it's one of those feeling builds where it just feels the best because your cooldowns are basically always up and you get more Soul Gem procs.
Feels really good. But, okay. I get on my soapbox about this all the time. I get so riled up about it.
I'm sorry.
I just think cooldown is such a bait, and it must feel really good to hit the front liner in front of you twice in the same team fight with a spell that does 46 damage. That must feel really good to hit him, but I hit him twice.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know. I lose it. I lose it every time. I can't do it. Book of the Dead. Decrease the shield health on the passive from 30% to 25% of your max mana. Even though the top mids weren't building it, I think community definitely had a lot of changing feelings about Book of the Dead. And so getting a 5% max mana nerf on that probably feels good.
Yep, agreed.
Eye of the Jungle, increased HP 5 in the jungle from 15 to 20, and MP 5 from 10 to 15, and Protector of the Jungle, increased attack speed from 25% to 35%. So a pretty big buff there for auto attack junglers who want to go Protector at the very least. Do you think this opens up Eye? Because it has been pretty Bumba's Mannequins heavy recently. I don't know the last time we saw an Eye.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never really understood when people bought Eye to begin with over the others. I think it was like a small meta earlier where people really liked Eye for like the early jungle clear, I think. And then they kept, I think they buffed the HP 5 and MP 5 like twice now.
Yep.
So I think for brawling junglers, it's gotta feel good. Or maybe, I don't know if there's junglers where like you need extra sustain in the jungle right now. Yeah, I'm also not sure about Protector. I feel like I've barely seen Protector in the last like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, I feel like Protector, if I'm playing like, I feel like BaRRaCCuDDa should be feeling pretty good about Eye of the Jungle. I think if he's not going Mannequins, and I think the Scream build was for Bumbas, then I feel like you'd swap out Eye there. Maybe Kali as well. Getting an extra 10% attack speed. I mean, having your starter upgrade into 35% attack speed is like a lot. That's a lot of attack speed.
That's gonna be good for jungler builds. I guess I view it from like an ADC perspective, where attack speed hasn't really been an issue in my builds this year.
Yeah.
Or like I feel like I always have enough, so I see the attack speed. I'm like, doesn't really matter. But maybe I guess for, like you said, the auto attack junglers where you're not hitting the attack speed cap, it probably feels really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that definitely could be the case. All right, on to gods. Terra now can only refire or shatter her 2, not both at the same time. This god got comp banned because it was determined that this was too good. I don't know how much I want to get into that discussion, but my brief thought is I was probably correct that mechanic was too strong. Never on gods. No, I think it's pretty disingenuous to think that it was happening frequently on gods, but it was certainly happening frequently and helping your ADC clear the wave. And so that basically guaranteed you lane pressure and a character that is really designed to team fight you. So this should open her back up to competitive play. And the question is, how good will she be without this mechanic? Still good, I think. She saw play before this mechanic was introduced, so I expect to see the same.
Yeah, I think her numbers are just too good for this to really hit her. I do think it felt very good, like you said, to clear in lane and just clear buffs and clear whatever you're clearing at the time. Like that damage burst was actually insane.
It was nuts.
Yeah, we won't get into the SPL side of it. And yeah, that's I almost did at the end of it after I said I wouldn't. Okay, we'll move on.
Moving on, but also regressing here a minute because Sam for Soccer in the chat says Eye is maybe even with Bumbas as a starter, but upgrades are way worse. So junglers who are listening, Sam for Soccer does not seem like he's going to be going for Eye of the Jungle. It's certainly worth noting. All right, Bologna increased damage on Scourge from 80 to 220 to 90 to 250. So 30 base damage late game. Not bad on an ability that's going to be poking you a lot. And you get Sundering Axe proc with this ability, so you're going to be feeling pretty good about that. Is Bologna a scary warrior for you to see as an ADC?
Sometimes. I think the only time she was like really scary was when there was like a full attack speed build going around and she would literally just chase you down and beat you. But I think she might be getting played now. I just think her kit's just bad. I mean, her 1, 2, 3, I feel like those are just like bad abilities. I think her ult's pretty sick, but I think her abilities just feel outdated, I guess. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, Bologna has been meta a long time, so maybe there's something to that. I don't know. Ganesh now knockback immune while channeling his 2.
Whoa.
In Ohm. I feel like that's actually a big deal.
Yeah, that's interesting, but kind of funny.
Ganesh just dude, Jeff Hinley's gonna come back and absolutely tear up the SPL now that Ganesh is like top pick.
Yeah, that's just a funny thing to put on that ability, I feel.
Sure.
It's funny.
Vamana, a new component to the passive, 10% of his physical protection is now converted to attack speed. He already gets power from his physical protection. That's his current passive. Now he will get power and attack speed as part of building protections.
Probably still one of the worst gods in Smite, but it's a fun change.
Fun change. Sleeping Giant is the right passive name for Vamana because he makes me fall asleep. BaRRaCCuDDa. Increased power on basically all of his acorns by 10. Also, he gets a buff to the crit acorn. He only got 5 power on Thistlethorn, which is the one everyone buys. The burst damage one on the 3. Mm-hmm. But also increase the buff BaRRaCCuDDa gains from hitting a god with dart from 10% physical lifesteal and 10% basic attack damage to 15 for each. Crit Rat coming to a game near you. I bet you in casuals, Crit Rat is by far the most popular. By far.
100%.
And it's by far his worst acorn.
Yeah. You think it's still by far after the buff? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because having to use your dash to deal damage feels really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
It's like Medusa syndrome.
Right, Medusa syndrome. Though we're going to be talking about her in a minute here, Barry. You
might hear that.
You heard about it? I was going to say, I was excited to see your reaction if you hadn't read the patch notes at all.
I think Destiny actually told me. I think she was watching the patch notes or something.
Come on, Destiny. Ruining the podcast content.
Boiled it.
Mercury can now fire Made You Look through walls.
Okay, yeah. That felt so bad to not be able to cast that over walls.
Yep.
It felt so bad.
Yep.
That was a very good quality of life change.
Neath. Broken Weave.
Whoa!
Increase the weave duration from 1 minute to 2 minutes. The things that sit on the ground. It increased the damage on Unravel. It was 7 to 190. Now it's 7 to 230. So 40 base damage in the late game. You get an extra 10 per rank, each rank on Unravel. Barry's pogging off right now. Do you actually think it matters for her or what?
Okay, I'm a big Neath fan. Every time I play her in rank, she is so fun.
Yeah.
And now I can convince my team to let me play her in scrims.
Nice. All right, Barry, this one's for you. Jingwei is next. Increased the damage per shot of her 2. You get an extra 10% on those.
What?
So it was 100% of your power, just did the same amount of power. Now your 2 will actually hit harder. And Persistent Gust, little mana cost decrease, 70 to 90, now 60 to 80. Mm-hmm. And same on her ultimate, 100 to 140 to 80 to 120. I've actually been playing Jingwei a little bit recently. I don't know why. Oh, it was a test of Transformer skin. And I feel like I did actually have some mana problems on this character. There were times that I wanted to ult and I didn't have the mana for it. So maybe with these changes, that should alleviate it. Are you going to be Jingwei abusing soon here, Barry?
Hopefully. I think she might. I feel like she was right under the cusp of being viable or being good enough, and I think that might push her over. I just think she's kind of bad with the builds right now, or the Crusher build doesn't feel good. Crusher Jingwei, I don't know. But maybe I can do some testing and maybe she'll feel good. I do agree that the 140 on the ult felt really awkward.
Yes, it was a lot.
It felt so expensive, and she awkwardly is kind of a mana-hungry god sometimes.
Yep.
Especially, if you're flying out of base, and you proc your 2, a little too late, and then you 1-3 to catch your creeps, that's half your mana gone by the time you get to the wave.
Yep.
So yeah, she's awkwardly mana-intensive.
Well, hopefully these will change it. Also, I think just as a flavor thing, making your explosive bolts deal more damage than your regular autos feels right. That feels right.
Sorry, I just cheated on the test and read the next thing.
Come on, man! Medusa. Acid Spray now applies healing reduction. 50% for 4 seconds. Anyone who's hit by Acid Spray. Lacerate, that's her 3, now no longer applies that healing reduction. And now damages minions as Medusa travels through them. So you can clear the wave by dashing through it, and you're much more consistent on your anti-heal, potentially even spreading it throughout the team fight. BaRRa, I know you're a Medusa lover, that you love this god. How big is this for Medusa?
Really good, really big. This helps her boxing in lane immensely.
Yeah, it's actually crazy for her to anti-heal you with her poke ability / clear ability in half your lifesteal for 4 seconds.
Yep.
That's actually huge.
if a Medusa player isn't clearing the wave, this makes her so much scarier. Because if she hits you off the archers, like you're
You
just
can't
not
box
gonna
it.
win that boxing fight. Yeah,
You can't
like
win it. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if it's like not a lifesteal meta. Like if it's like the Ichval meta that was earlier in the year.
yeah.
And right now you don't build, lifesteal until second most of the time with Aussie.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter like until you have Aussie, but once you do have Aussie, if you both have the same build. Plus, like if Crusher is the meta first item for hunters right now, like Crusher Medusa slams.
Yep.
It
Yeah,
slams.
I think she'll be really good. I think the healing reduction does impact death toll a little bit. I think it will feel bad.
Sure.
Especially on a god like Charybdis, where if you're boxing into a Medusa, I think that won't feel great. Also, her 2, unless you're going a power build, it wouldn't really clear the creeps, but now this gives you the ability to 2 the wave and dash through the wave to clear the wave.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like the Sorin combo.
Right.
Where you just like instantly engage. I feel like this makes your instant engage a lot scarier, which might bait you into a lot of bad situations now that you can clear the wave and fight in the wave. But I think this is a very good quality of life and big buff for Medusa.
Yeah, I kind of feel like as I'm thinking about what hunters are building right now, like I think all of it is good on Medusa. I think she might be really good. The more I think about it, the more excited I get for Medusa for sure.
I mean, that ult, if you're not used to playing against that ult, it's kind of like Athena taunt, where it'll just catch you off guard and you're like, wait, what? That hit for like 700?
Dude, it is so crazy how hard that ult hits, and you just gotta, like... There might not be a more satisfying ult to, like, catch someone off guard with as they're, like, walking back to lane, and you, like, shoulder peek it, and you start taking off the mask, and then you just peek out and you stun them. Like, that feels so good to do to people.
Yep, that gives you the green light to just blow your whole combo and hope they die.
If they got stunned by the ultimate, it's fair game, bro. If
100%.
they beads Aegis on your dash 2 and you die for it, whatever, man. They were stunned by the ultimate. Nothing you could do. BaRRa, this might be a good time for me to sell you on Hydra's Medusa.
Oh, didn't know where that was going.
It's got to be good, okay? It's got to be.
Where are you going to build it?
Probably like second.
You're going to go with Death Toll Hydras?
No. Like,
sorry, after
Crusher.
Crusher.
Crusher
Okay.
Hydras. Or
Yeah, but
trans.
Aussie feels so good.
Yeah, but you don't need a lifesteal if they're just dead, you know?
I mean, maybe you can go at third after Aussie and just replace Windyman?
Maybe. But all of your abilities auto-cancel so easily.
Mm-hmm.
So easily.
They do.
Like, dash auto 1, auto 2, auto. They're dead. They're just dead.
Yep.
Hydra's Medusa,
Especially,
man. It's OP.
maybe you go like Crusher, Aussie, Hydras. You gotta be going Exy now. I think Exy feels pretty good.
Yep.
And then you just slam a Deathbringer in there, maybe? So for some big Hydras crits?
Oh, okay. That would be big time. We would absolutely love that. You know what else I gotta sell you on, BaRRa? It's Mint Mobile. This holiday season, the best deal in wireless can only be found at Mint Mobile. Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy any 3-month plan, you'll get another 3 months for free. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. BaRRa has been using Mint Mobile long before this holiday deal, and I think I speak for him when I say it's the perfect time to switch. And BaRRa, I will say it's very easy to just get someone a Mint Mobile card as a holiday gift, right? A great stocking stuffer for them to save a lot of money on their wireless deal, right?
Yeah, maybe I actually just buy my parents one.
There you go.
That's not a bad idea, Aggro. Also, okay, if you haven't signed up by now, just sign up. It's so easy. It's so cheap, chat. Oh, look, just do it. It's so easy, please. It's so easy.
Chat, you know what's really funny? I'm throwing you under the bus here, Barry.
That's fine.
We talked a couple of weeks ago about, I was like, BaRRa, you guys use Mint Mobile. You should, I'm just going to start asking you to say things during the Mint Mobile ad about how good it has been for you. And it has been, not trolling. It has been very good for him. And after 3 weeks, He's sick of telling you guys how good it is for him, and he goes, if you guys haven't signed up, fine now. You just have to sign up. He's out of ideas.
You guys are listening to the ad. Aggro does a great job every time. Dude, just do it. It's so easy. It's so cheap. Please. As someone who loves saving money, just do it. You'll thank me later.
For a limited time, buy any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get 3 more months free by going to mintmobile.com/backliners. That's mintmobile.com/backliners. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/backliners. You know, we kind of are, surely there are a lot of Smite fans listening to the stream, listening to the podcast, and thinking, man, I haven't done any holiday gift shopping at all.
Mm-hmm.
Manscaped.com/back and mintmobile.com/backliners. These are great gifts to give to people in your life that they'll appreciate, we'll appreciate, and you'll appreciate us for. It's a big appreciation circle.
Others will appreciate.
Yep.
Santa will appreciate because he gets his beard back.
Yep, he gets his beard back. It's off my balls.
You have so much more money in your bank account
that you appreciate.
And it makes everyone happier. So
there you go.
Yeah, just do it, and then buy a sous-vide, and then brag to Aggro that your turkey was better than his.
No way. That thing was goated. That's all I'm saying. No, it was turkey. I don't know. I just feel like it was wrong to say an animal.
What?
In place of it, like if I say my turkey was goated, you would think that like it was a goat. Yeah. I've never eaten goat. Like goat milk is a thing and goat cheese, but no one like eats the meat of goat. Right?
I feel like people probably do. It's just not like you could probably go.
Well, like I've never had it. Is what I'm saying. I guess.
Yeah, you could probably. Do they have like goat jerky? Because I remember going in like jerky places and they have like all these crazy meats or like jerky choices, and I was like, people eat that?
When I Google goat jerky, the first result is shop exotic meat jerky, and I don't think I want to click on that. That scares me.
Yeah, I'll type it in. I'll look it up. Oh, that's a lot of jerky. The ultimate everything exotic jerky stocking stuffer gift.
Bear, we're not sponsored by these people. We can't be giving people. They're going to Manscaped. They're going to Mint Mobile. You know, that's what you got to do.
Plenty of money to splurge around with.
They got plenty of money. He says about you, Chad. That's unbelievable. All right, let's talk Atlas real quick because we're already near.
I forgot.
Near our time here. Have you seen any Atlas at all?
Nope.
Okay.
I have not seen anything or heard anything. This is all brand new.
All right, great. This is gonna be it's much easier to understand what he's doing visually, but this is good podcast content. We're just gonna let her rip here. Okay. His passive is that as he deals or takes god damage, he accumulates energy. He's carrying a big astrolabe. Okay. And after he has a certain amount of energy, he'll do this. His next auto attack will be this little circle AoE in front of him, and it'll tremble gods for 2 seconds and stun minions. But it costs 20 energy, and he can only store up to 30. So it's not going to happen back to back on autos, really, but you can definitely use it.
Is he a solo laner?
I don't think so. You're going to think he is when I tell you what his kit is, but I really don't think he is.
Support?
Yes, support.
Okay.
Okay, the one. He throws his astrolabe into an AoE, and it damages and slows where it lands. And then you can leave it there. It can just be hanging out. And whenever you basic attack, while it's out there hanging out, it will pulse on the astrolabe. Like your astrolabe will like pulse, and it'll deal a little bit of damage. It won't slow, anything like that, but it'll deal a little bit of damage. This will also, his other ability changes, but depending on whether or not he's holding his astrolabe. So it's important there.
Okay.
The thing with, you can just throw this, it's big AoE. It's like Cthulhu 2 size AoE. If you must be thinking, he's going to throw it on the wave and he's just going to auto attack down my wave.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't proc any item effects. It doesn't inherit his power at all. It's a flat amount and then per level scaling. But even then, it's like 23 damage plus 6 per level. So it is low. And I will tell you in my experience, he does help you get lane pressure. It's really annoying if you're an ADC that needs to be in the wave to clear it, because this will hit you. But it will not auto-win you lane pressure like having an Izanami will.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, in my limited experience, it felt like having Sylvanas. Like, with Sylvanas, your Guardian's going to help you clear more than other Guardians. But it doesn't insta-win you the lane.
Well, I would say 70% of the time it does.
Okay. Then maybe that's the case for Atlas. But I'm not a dual lane expert. So, take that as you will. But it does hurt the entire minion wave. I think it's most impactful for ADCs and supports who want to be in the wave to clear it, because this always threatens them. Okay. The 2, Gravity Pull. So, if you're holding your Astrolabe, if you haven't deployed your 1, you're going to kind of Susano 2 people in towards you. It's kind of like Wind Siphon a little bit. If you're close enough to him, it's kind of like got 2 areas. If you're close enough to him whenever he activates the 2, he will pick you up and hold you over his head. And then he'll, after a set time, he can't cancel it early or anything like that, he throws you where he's looking. So you can just pick someone up and yeet him towards your team. He's a big, big boy. If you don't, he a big boy. Not quite Cthulhu sized, but close. Mm-hmm. He real big. Okay? That's if your 1 is not deployed. If your 1 is deployed, it will pull in enemies in the area. Mm-hmm. And if they're close enough to the Astrolabe, it will pull you into the Astrolabe and hold you there for a second, and then spit you out towards Atlas, wherever Atlas is. So these share a cooldown. It's all the same ability. It's just dependent on if your Astrolabe is deployed or not. Yep. The 3 is a charge. It feels kind of like Artio Dash in bear form. If you hit any, you have a little area around you. Any allies near you have their burdens removed, and you cleanse them of slows and increase their movement speed. It's 25 to 35% based on level. Whenever he hits an enemy god, it stops on first enemy god hit. You will slow them for all of the slows that you cleansed from your team. Up to a maximum of 75%. So it'll feel really good, I think, up against AoE slows.
That's what I'm gonna say. Against Nike, it's gotta slam.
Just cleanses all the slows instantly. It's not a huge AoE around him, but you can just run past your teammates. You can just kind of ping pong between them and cleanse all their slows, which I think is gonna be really cool. And then his ultimate is really sick. Okay, really big AoE again, kind of Cthulhu 2 size AoE. It reminds me of the Hou Yi tier 5 ultimate, where it's just this big monster that comes out and right there on your spot.
That.
Yeah,
I hate that skin. Yeah.
It right on top of that area, just kind of like that. It's gamma ray burst, and it'll give you a stack of something called radiation, which will lower your prots and your power for enemies, of course, and it stacks. So you can get up to 5, 6, or 7 stacks depending on the rank. So it stands there for a little bit and does tick damage, and then either after 5 seconds or when you refire it, it'll zoom across basically the entire map. It's not quite global, but it's close on the refire.
Wait. So you can aim the refire?
It goes in the direction that he's facing.
Like a Susanoo ult?
Yes, it's Susanoo. Okay. Think of Susanoo ult.
Okay.
Where it comes down, instantly lowers your power and prots. Then 5 seconds later, or on refire, It zooms, like it is fast. It's kind of like Susanoo ult travel speed, but imagine if Susanoo ult went from like Phoenix to their tier 2.
Wow.
Really fast. And it feels really fun to use. It does more damage on refire, but it's so fast that it won't like stack on you very much.
His kit doesn't seem like a Smite character.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm getting like League vibes from this for some reason. Or just like that design style, or like that ability design style. It doesn't seem like it's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
By the way,
I guess
like,
it has a lot of
thing.
like ifs. I feel like League champion design has a lot of like ifs. Like if you're in this situation, it does this, and if you're in this situation, it does that. Mm-hmm. And I agree that Atlas has a lot of ifs.
Yeah, just his kit seems like there's not the. It seems like just a very. I was gonna sound stupid and obvious, but it seems like a newly designed kit, where there's just a lot of moving parts at once. But I'm not sure if he'll do enough. His kit seems really fun. It looks really fun. But from a competitive point, I'm not sure how good he'll actually be, because his engage seems really awkward. He doesn't have any he doesn't have the greatest peel, it looks like. And then his passive seems kind of weird. Or like hard to use in an actual team fight. Seems like maybe fun to use in lane.
I think it was pretty easy for me to use it in team fights in my experience. I think I only play tested as Atlas once. I felt like the passive felt really good. I think that he was really good up against immobile gods, that because your initiation is telegraphed, but it's also strong. Like the 1 AoE is big, and then if you instantly activate the 2, it's a big area that you're covering, and you can get a lot of people CC'd in it. But if they have dashes, they can pretty easily react to it. But against like gods without dashes, Zeus or Baron or Poseidon, Poseidon might be too fast or whatever, but Artemis, like those types of gods, I think it is pretty easy to hit them with your initiation combo, and that's going to feel good. I think his competitive viability basically comes down to the ultimate and how good this ultimate is, because at level 5 you can give 25% prot reduction and 10% power reduction if they get hit with 5 stacks of radiation, and it's fast. It's a fast tick, so it's certainly doable.
It's every 0.5 seconds.
Yeah. Ooh. And 7 times, so like 35% power reduction late game, and 14 or protection reduction.
Yeah.
And 14% power reduction late game. If you can hit that on like 2 or 3 people, that is a big swing. Like think about on Terra ult rework, whenever it was 10% damage reduction and 10% power reduction or boost, like it felt impossible to beat that ultimate in a team fight. And this feels like a healthier way to do that, because it's aimed and it's one-sided. It's not a double. It's like not one side's getting nerfed, one side's getting buffed, so it feels like doubly impactful. I feel like this ultimate could really change team fights. But I agree that he doesn't feel that, you're going to need a backline. You're going to need the meta to be very front to back oriented and not a lot of diving back or diving people in the game. Or you're going to need all of the dive to be slow based so you can just cleanse it instantly. But I think if we're talking team fights, his ult feels really strong, I think. So yeah, that's where it goes to me.
I think he'll only be good with full smart comps.
Yeah.
Where you are only getting in there. And I think your 3 will be used as we're getting in there more, not I'm peeling my backline.
Right.
And then, yeah, his 1-2, I don't know the travel speed or whatever on that combo, but I'm not sure how realistically you can use that in a team fight. But I'll have to see the character, like,
You would be able to
play.
force beads pretty easily on frontliners diving. Like,
okay, cool.
Yeah, you could very easily force a CC immunity from, because you don't even need, you can use the one, it slows on deploy. It's only 20%, but it's a massive area. And you can slow, and that'll oftentimes force a beads or like a CC immune ultimate to cleanse your slow in order to keep the dive going. And then if they don't have CC immunity, and you can just pull them, not even with your astrolabe, just like walk up and pick them up, like your peel is really good then, because that's a lot of time that they're CC'd. Like that, if you get picked up, you're toasted. Like, it is not, you're not living in late game, I don't think, if you get picked up.
Maybe he'll be good in Sunder metas then, where you just Sunder pick up.
Could be. You got to be pretty close to pick up for sure, but, you know, Blink Sunder pick up a character without beads, like, they're dying. The big thing, you know what I didn't test, and it should work, is blink autoing people. If you can blink passive auto someone and tremble them for 2 seconds without using a button, like, that's pretty strong.
How fast do his auto attacks come out?
That one is slow. It like, but if you're blink autoing, it doesn't matter because you can blink auto at any point in the chain. Sure. Yeah. So, but like he kind of hefts up the astrolabe over his head and then like hits it down. So I think if you blink auto, it could be pretty good. I gotta get better at that. That's a mechanic I'm horrible at. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's really hard. If you watch like Haddix, he can do it perfectly like every time.
I know. Haddix is really good at it. Scream's really good at it. Nika's really good at it. You know what it is? I wonder if all those players play instant cast. I've heard it's so much easier if you have instant cast relics.
Oh, true, yeah. I would assume they have instant cast relics.
Yeah.
I feel like as a frontliner, you kind of need it.
True. Doesn't help them on their beads, am I right, BaRRa? Ha ha ha, frontliners and beads, they're bad at it. That's the joke. They're not.
I just love when I use my 1cc on a frontliner and they beads and keep running at me.
Yeah, that's all. I just minimized BaRRa. Unlucky on that one. Yeah, that doesn't feel great. I don't think whenever that happens. All right, well, that's going to do it. We got our random question of the week. Oh, crap. I didn't think of anything. Wait, was this week Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I was going to say it's Thanksgiving related.
Yes.
We didn't do it last weekend.
We didn't do it last weekend, so we're going to do it this weekend. I'm glad I saved it.
Yeah.
BaRRa, what are the best Thanksgiving... What's the best way to execute on Thanksgiving? You know, what are the best sides, the best main dishes?
Oh.
You know, time of day to eat, all that kind of stuff.
I would say time of day to eat, 1 to 2 p.m. And you want to do like a light breakfast, I will say. Something to not make you super hangry when you see everyone.
Yep.
But enough to where you are starving almost in time where like you gotta line up like when you're eating and when you're starving.
Oh yeah, you know? You gotta be hungry. Yep.
And then obviously turkey as the American staple as it is still delicious.
Let me interrupt you, okay?
Okay, sorry.
I've seen a lot of turkey slander on the timeline. Everyone's saying turkey's overrated. Who wants turkey on Thanksgiving? I do. Okay?
If it's good turkey, then it's good.
Yes,
if it's bad turkey, then it's dry.
Yes, turkey's hard to execute on. Okay, why do I keep saying execute? Turkey is hard to cook well. But when you do it, it's top tier. And so to all of those who say all the turkey I've had stinks, get good.
Yeah.
To your family members that are cooking. Get good.
Basically what Aggro said. There's a big difference. Like, bad turkey is basically inedible. It's just sawdust.
Yep.
And then good turkey, you're going to have, like, all the flavorings in there. And every bite will just be packed and juicy and delicious.
I think I still have some leftover turkey that we took home. I think I'm going to go heat it up after this. I'm not even hungry, but just, like, thinking about how good that turkey was makes me hungry immediately because it was that good.
So I only really care about having 3 sides.
Okay.
At Thanksgiving, they're just the ones I gravitate towards. It'll be like mac and cheese
Bingo.
and mashed potatoes
Bingo.
and some kind of roll,
Yes.
and it's gotta be like super flavorful and soft. Cause
Yep.
look, I'm not trying to be healthy on Thanksgiving,
No.
so
No.
I'm not really trying to gravitate towards veggies on Thanksgiving. I'm
No.
just trying to eat until I don't want to eat anymore, or I want to make my stomach lining literally like look like a very expanded balloon.
Yes.
Uh, so yeah, that's my plan. This Thanksgiving we actually made a vegan lasagna, and it's still like my favorite lasagna I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay. At Destiny's, grandma's, I had a migraine the whole time, so I lay on the couch and ate cornbread stuffing and mashed potatoes, and they were both delicious, but I was not having a good time. And then when I went to my parents, thankfully, my migraine like started to go away. So I had more lasagna, and then I just had more cornbread stuffing and mashed potatoes. We looked up a recipe. It like looked really interesting. The cornbread stuffing, delicious, really good.
Dude, cornbread, top tier. And that is not a thing up north, by the way. Like, we did not have a lot of cornbread growing up or anything like that. It was like very occasional. Down here, I feel like I'm having cornbread all the time, and I'm loving it. Like,
It's so good.
it's so good.
It's the same as turkey, where if it's bad, it is really bad. It's
Yeah.
just dry and
Yeah.
disgusting. If it's good, so moist, so flavorful.
Oh, man.
So much going on.
Nick's brother made some cornbread, and it was unreal. It was so good. He said that it's his mom's recipe. He put in half the butter she called for. Literally half. And it was still unbelievably
I was
good.
about to say, I was expecting like to be surprised with the amount of butter, and I was like, half the wait. Am I hearing that wrong?
Apparently, the recipe called for a whole box of butter for one, like, tray of cornbread.
A whole box?
A whole box. You know, you get like a box and it's like 8 sticks of butter or something like that. Like they were using, and he was like, I'm gonna cut this in half. And he was right to do so because it was perfect. It was perfect. It was so good. What was I gonna say? BaRRa, for once, you have absolutely nailed it, by the way. You're right on all accounts. Turkey is fantastic. I do accept, I like having a little bit of ham as well as turkey. On Thanksgiving. I can mess with that for sure. Mashed potatoes is key. Oh, here's a big question, BaRRa. Stuffing. Okay. You're talking about some cornbread stuffing. I don't know what type of stuffing this is. Are you a fan of the dry stuffing or the wet stuffing? What do you think is better?
Define wet. I don't think I've ever had wet stuffing.
Wet stuffing is, maybe that's a northern thing. There's usually 2 types of stuffing served at Thanksgiving, in my experience.
Okay.
And that's stuffing that has been cooked independently, and then the stuffing that's inside the turkey, like the literal stuffing of the turkey that you put some in there, and then you pull it out after you've cooked the bird.
I'll say maybe I've only had
that's the
dry.
wet stuffing.
I just like moist, I guess, where it's not like sopping wet, but It's not completely dry either. It won't like dry your mouth out while you're eating it.
Here's the thing about my stuffing, okay?
Okay.
I want it to be crunchy.
Oh, that's so good, yeah.
I love crunchy stuffing. I don't want it to be moist really at all, because the rest of my meal is so moist, you know? We're talking mashed potatoes and gravy. We're talking turkey and gravy. We're talking these soft, buttery rolls, mac and cheese, all that kind of stuff. You don't have enough crunch in a Thanksgiving meal unless you have crunchy stuffing. So that's why I think it's important to make sure your stuffing is nice and crunchy.
Like a crouton, or
yeah, kind of like crouton consistency. That's what I want.
Like a softer crouton, I guess.
Yeah, slightly. Yeah, softer than crouton,
okay.
I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
But a little bit of crunch to it. I think that's big time. If you put cranberry sauce in front of me, I'm gonna like you less than I did before you put the cranberry sauce in front of me. That stuff is gross. I don't care what anyone says. Get that out of here.
I've never had it.
It's bad.
Every time I saw it on the Thanksgiving table since I've been a kid, I think I've never put it on my plate.
Yeah, that's the right call. It isn't good.
It just doesn't look appetizing for some reason to me. I look at it, I'm like, no, I'm gonna skip that.
Yeah, it's not good. Green bean casserole, bad. Anything
What?
sweet potato, bad.
What? Okay.
Get that nonsense out of here. Okay?
Is that only on Thanksgiving?
No, all the time. All the time. I hate sweet potatoes.
They're so good.
Wait, we haven't had this discussion about how much I hate sweet potatoes. Surely we've talked about it.
You hate like sweet potato fries?
All of it. Sweet potatoes
Dude.
are a crime against
You are
the potato
so
name.
wrong.
BaRRa, here's the thing about sweet potatoes, okay?
Okay.
The potato is perfect, all right? No one needs to eat a potato and think, I need this sweeter. They're not even potatoes, right? They're yams. And they have profited off of the rock solid potato name their whole lives. All right? If they just said, hey, have a yam casserole, no one would want it. But because they're, someone here is sweet potato, potatoes are great. I love potatoes. I'll try a different type of potato. And then they get bamboozled and tricked into thinking that it's good when it's not, okay? Stop calling them sweet potatoes because they don't deserve to have the same name as one of the most perfect foods on the planet, which is the potato. The potato can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned.
Is this a potato ad read?
Yo, potatoes, sponsor me, bro. Sponsor the podcast. I'll shill for potatoes harder than anything else.
Okay. I used to be a sweet potato hater, and the more I've eaten them over the last 4 or 5 years, I've just fallen in love. They are so tasty, and they scratch the kind of sweet itch that I get sometimes. And yeah, sweet potato fries, bang. They're so good.
There you go.
So good. A sweet potato,
You're right.
I think it's like sweet potato pie or whatever. Or is it pie or casserole? I don't think I'm a fan of those, or the sweet potato pie. It might just be too sweet for me, but fries are really good.
I don't know. I'm looking on Google, by the way, because people are saying that yams and sweet potatoes are two different things. One result said they're the same. One result said they're different. So I'm going to have to do my own research, whatever that means, and get in on that at some point. But who cares, man? Sweet potatoes suck. I won't hear anything else about it. I don't care if you cover them in marshmallows. They're still bad. Get them out of here. Potatoes are the best.
Don't cover them in marshmallows. Just
don't eat them at all.
Eat them in a healthy way. Just chop them up, throw them in the oven. Also,
chop them up and throw them in your trash can.
Okay, you're gonna think this is absolutely disgusting and wild. But we chopped them up into bite-sized squares. Actually, a little smaller than bite-sized squares. Roasted them and cooked them with Mexican seasonings.
Mm-hmm.
Put them in tacos. Delicious. Yeah,
anyways,
that's going to sound absolutely disgusting, but it was absolutely delicious.
I hate them. I hate them so much.
I don't know why, but it was so good.
Neon wants to know apple or pumpkin pie. Here's something else about me. I think all squash foods are bad. Like squash, pumpkins.
That's a bad take. That's such
pumpkins
a bad take.
Stink, bro. They're bad.
Bro, are you serious?
Yes.
Destiny is literally making me pumpkin cheesecake bites right now.
Wow, that's great for you. And she must love you a lot to put together something so gross.
That is such
pumpkins
a
aren't
bad
good, man.
take,
They aren't
bro.
good. All right? They aren't. Apple pie is the best pie out there, and it is not close. All right? It is not close. Apple pie is so far above every other pie that I think it should get its own name. It shouldn't be apple pie. It should be apple greatness. And it shouldn't even share the pie name with other crappy pies like pumpkin pie. Get that not pecan pie. Gross in comparison to apple pie. Nothing else is good. Nothing else is good in comparison to apple pie. Apple pie's the GOAT.
That's a strong take, but I agree that apple pie is better, but not to the degree that you're saying this.
It isn't close.
It's slightly better.
If you were apple pie, BaRRa, your gameplay was apple pie, pumpkin pie would be like a bronze player. Like, you know, you're...
Wait, and so you were saying that for all pies earlier, right? Like all pies are bronze players?
Yeah, all pies are bronze players in comparison to apple pie. Yeah. Most pies, actually pumpkin pies probably never even played Conquest. They're probably an arena main. And they probably only play Nox in arena. That's how much worse they are than apple pies.
That's a strong take, man. I feel like you're going off the deep end here. I think
I'm
you
out
went
here
too
speaking
far.
my truth, BaRRa, and that's all I can ever do. You know?
I think you went off the deep end on this one.
That's how it is. And you know what? Here's the other thing. If pumpkin pie or sweet potatoes don't like it, they should simply taste better. And then I wouldn't feel this way. It's not my fault.
Pumpkin pie doesn't taste bad.
Agree to disagree. You're just wrong. That's all.
Okay.
That's all there is to it.
Wait, you don't like blueberry pie or like cherry pie or anything?
Blueberry pie is okay. Blueberry pie is like, they're like Platt. They're like a Platt player. You know? They're like fine. They're above average. They're good. Cherry pie, I don't need.
Are there strawberry pies?
I was just thinking that. I feel like strawberry pie, it's like that cold pie with like the whipped cream on top. Yeah. You know? And that's not great.
Wait,
like,
really?
why would I ever
delicious.
have that instead of apple pie? Chat. How could anyone ever disagree with the take that apple pie is by far the best pie? It's not even close.
Okay,
it's not even close.
It's the best pie, but not to this degree.
By a freaking mile, man.
Okay, who's making your apple pies? Because I kind of want to try these.
Anyone, man. Any apple pie is good.
Any apple pie.
Okay, no, that's not true.
Wow.
That's not true.
Okay.
Apple pie definitely can be not great. But when you have a great apple pie, my goodness. Having an apple pie is like shaving your balls with Manscaped. Okay? And pumpkin pie is like shaving your pubes with a rabid raccoon. It's night and day, man. I'd much rather have the Manscaped.
What? Okay, this podcast has gone on way too long, bro.
Listen, bro, I haven't had to be on air in a while. My mind's all over the place. All right, thanks for watching. Give us a listen. Manscaped.com/back and code back there, and mintmobile.com/backliners. Get your Christmas gifts in. I don't know what's going on. BaRRa, say the thing.
Don't let any animals near your nether regions, please. Do not listen to Aggro. Bye! I can't believe you just said to shave with a raccoon. What?